Today, we become legends.
Today's Titan Talk was the OB16 showcase stream with a bunch of new stuff coming to the game in this patch, including new skins, Quickplay Joust, and the first pass on the lighting overhaul, as well as of course Janus, who I have already covered in a video out on the channel already that I'll link down below if you haven't seen his reveal yet, but without further ado, let's jump into patch OB16. First up is some very big news for those who own or were considering buying an Ultimate Founders Edition of the game. With the launch of OB16, Ultimate Edition owners will get every Ascension pass, current and future, for free, which is a massive double. Any you had bought previously will be refunded in legacy gems. This makes the Ultimate Edition actually worth buying in my opinion, as before you just got a few Ascension passes that might not have been for gods you liked, but now you'll get 130 plus Ascension passes over the course of the game's life cycle, which of course reward 450 diamonds throughout the mastery levels as well, so this is sort of a way to get a constant stream of free diamonds coming in as well as you play. Next up for the patch we have the new skins with 2 new travelers coming, first up with GEB1 as a classic traveler, which looks great in Smite 2 in my opinion. Apparently the team has been doing some work on the back end to improve the look of metal in the game and make it a bit more shiny and reflective, and you can very much see the difference on this skin. As with basically every classic skin nowadays, this traveler comes with 3 prisms for GEB1, with Stealth Strike, which is an all black color scheme and my favorite for sure. Combat Camo is up next, which is a sort of military camo style, and finally we have Ultra Core, which is red, white and blue themed. This traveler also comes with the GEB Squadron Ward skin and Mech Jump Stamp. The next traveler coming is another classic one in Plushy Ganesha, which feels like the most ideal skin to do prisms for in existence, and the team seem to agree as they decided to do every colour of the rainbow as a prism for this skin. This traveler also comes with the Rainbow Warrior title and the More You Know global emotes. There's also a Plushy event this patch which rewards some badges and the chest roll of the cutesy avatar chest for doing various things in the game. On a related note, the team have also been very well aware of the issues of coin economy in the game and how players with lives were struggling to grind enough Wandering Market coins for all the content that is now being released into the Wandering Market every update. So they've implemented a system with this patch that rewards double coins for a certain amount of levels when you buy a piece of content in the Wandering Market. Classic Travelers grant 5 levels, normal Travelers grant 10 levels, and Sagas grant 20 levels of double coins. This means you'll get 400 coins per level instead of 200. It's not the same as the boosted earn rate that you get, and these effectively do stack with each other. You can have boosted XP gain and get levels faster and get double coins from those boosted levels. This also will be retroactive, counting every purchase you've made in the Wandering Market, so if you buy a lot of stuff in there, you'll probably log into several dozens of double coin levels. They did also clarify that if you're at the cap of Wandering Market coins, you simply don't earn levels or XP and therefore will not waste your double coin levels. They'll still be there when you go below the cap and start earning levels again. Next up though, we have another new player experience feature which will be on by default in the new patch, which essentially puts a one-word description of what an ability does on the ability bar. They showed Anher, who has Zone, Push, Leap, and Damage for his 1, 2, 3, and ult respectively. This setting also has a slightly longer but still very brief description in the ability menu, such as attacks weaken enemies for Anher's passive. Probably not very useful to most of you watching, but for new players I imagine this will be very useful, as I found myself in similar situations where this would help a lot when first starting out in other similar games. Sometimes you don't want to read an entire paragraph of numbers and keywords that mean nothing to you when you have 3 hours total in the game. You just want to play, so this will be helpful. They also added a small quality of life thing for items in this patch where it will now show up with 3 pips below the item which turn gold when the item is complete, much like Smite 1. A small thing of course, but useful for new players, and it just looks clean. Another QOL feature they're adding this patch is that health bars will now explode and dissolve on kill to give a little bit more feedback on when people are dying. Quickplay Joust will also be shipping with this update. They've talked about it a lot before as it was planned to ship initially for OB14, but it will follow the normal Quickplay rules in terms of accelerating game pace, pick from 3 item building, default agility relic, etc. They also improved the presentation when picking items in Quickplay, which looks very clean now in my opinion. They also plan to do a similar pass for the initial build pass selection, which also uses the same widget as the relic selection in normal mode, so that will also be updated when they do that, but they said it won't make OB16, it should be an OB17. A few more small things coming in this update are that Anher, Aphrodite, and Agni have received a pass on their auto attack sounds similar to what Yumiya got a while back. I assume the plan is to eventually get through all the gods and for new ports to receive similar treatment. This is a small thing, but basic attacks definitely do feel unimpactful in their presentation and sound design in Smite 2, so this is good progress. They have also done their first initial testing pass on the lighting improvements, which will be in this update. It's only for Conquest right now, and it's also just a general overall lighting pass. They are also working on specific areas having specific lighting, but for now, this is their first pass on a global lighting change to see if people like the direction they're moving in or not, so definitely give them feedback on whether you like or dislike this. They also fixed the issues with aspects that grant healing abilities when the base base kit does not, proccing item effects related to healing, so that should all work correctly now in this update. They're also minorly reworking Totem in this update. It won't grant 1 permanent CDR anymore, instead granting 10 temporary CDR for 60 seconds on kill and instantly refunding 15% of your active cooldowns when taken. It will also take half damage from gods outside of the Totem area. The idea here is that the Totem didn't feel impactful enough to take initially, and you would often take a lot of collateral damage while taking it, so having it be more immediately impactful lets you maintain pressure afterwards and should help. They're also reworking the firebrands slightly in this pass. There will now be 3 of them, but they each have reduced health and damage. The static spawn rocks will no longer exist, and the fire giant door will be permanently open until the fire giant spawns and the firebrands despawn at 15 minutes. The idea here being that it's more of a consistently contestable objective, especially for solo laners, which is why the door is now open, so you can just walk directly from lane into the pit instead of walking around or losing 10% current health to open the door. Them being less tanky also means them potentially being soloable by solo laners depending on how much they reduce the health by, as right now it takes insanely long for a solo to do these on their own, and you'll lose way too much farm and pressure by trying. The door being open also just lets solos more easily group up with their jungler or mid and get more involved to contest these between waves. The flash test for this update should be live now as this video goes out, and I will be streaming it if you want to come say hi and check out the update. I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube. They also made a change so that you should now start at level 20 and have 1 million of each currency on the PTS, as well as have all gods unlocked and mastery 10, so you can test out new content more easily. There's also a new Game Pass drop starting with this patch, which gives Phantom Seas Poseidon for free for Game Pass owners. And finally, the balance changes for the patch will be discussed on Friday's show, so be sure to either tune in then or subscribe to the channel to catch my recap, as I imagine there's going to be quite a few balance changes coming up to go over some of the underperformers and overperformers of the big healing overhaul. But that's everything showcased for OB16 on today's Titan Talk. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.